I don't know.
Use my voice. Open County Services Committee meeting at 6:01. Thank you. And we have 10 action items, but first we have the county historian, Jonathan Palmer, give us a brief update on the 250th anniversary.
Happy New Year, everybody. Just wanted to give a quick rundown. Do I need this? Is this no. Everybody can hear me all right? Yeah. Great, yeah. Just a quick update. We had our first, just an initial meeting of some people to sound off some plans for 250th commemorations. People from local historical societies, several of the municipal historians, several representatives from county government made some time to be there as well. Patty Austin with tourism facilitated the whole thing. It was great and extremely helpful with this so far. We ended up with kind of 3 action items that are achievable, kind of low impact, but a lot of bang for their buck. So the initial plan is right now that, which first thing is going to be the ask that I'm coming to you all for, will be a Greene County branded 250th Historic Marker Series custom designed through CWA Studios, which is the contractor that does all of the New York State history markers through the Pomeroy Foundation. They're located in Ohio. We can seek under their vendors if you'd like. But essentially this would be, in relation to the 250th, we'd select 14 locations, one in each town in the county, design a marker that commemorates a revolutionary themed topic, event, person, whatever the municipal historian deems most prudent for that locality. And this gives us an opportunity over the course of 2026, which will kind of be the target date for our commemorations, to have an opportunity to at least do, well, up to 14 events commemorating local historical topics in Greene County, chance for people to get out, see these things, chance for people to drive around, get outside of their hometown and see what else is going on. And it would be a permanent deliverable. It would be a lasting thing that is a byproduct of the planning. The pricing for that right now could be up to $30,000 for 14 markers. I'm waiting for the final pricing for this year from CWA Studios because their pricing changed over the course of the end of the year here. So I'm waiting for a quote back, but this would give us the opportunity to create our own logo, text that we select and vet with municipal historians. And to that end, depending on what everybody's sense is from that, I'd have a meeting before the end of this month with the municipal historians to run the idea by them as well. So that would be the next step with that. The other 2 activities, the first one would be the creation of a resource guide, which tourism has kindly offered to be the point person for a lot of the promotions going forward. We have at least 6 museums and physical historical associations that have brick and mortar structures throughout the county that are going to be doing planning. They're going to be having lectures and things like that all through the commemorative period, and having one source that they can go to get targeted broader audiences for all the lectures, events, and programming, so on and so forth, I think is going to be one of the most useful things that we could do kind of at the county level. The last would be kind of a scavenger hunt done in partnership with the local public libraries. I had spoken to some folks with the Greene County Libraries Association, which is the consortium of all the public libraries in the county, and they're already planning something for the Mid-Hudson region, which we'd be able to amend and make specific to the county. This would be an activity that families would be able to use. Again, getting out and about, seeing the county, seeing some of the important sites, and getting kids immersed in, the region itself. These are, again, I decided to go for some kind of not high-end tools. I didn't want to try to reinvent the wheel. Based on everybody's available time and based on the kind of deliverables I'd like to see be the end product of this, I thought these were kind of the achievable things to start with. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Jonathan, would these markers be actual historic sites that were part of the Revolutionary War that you're looking at?
Greene has a handful of sites, Catskill, Athens, Coxsackie, New Baltimore, that have Revolutionary connections. There's a site out in Prattsville that has an apocryphal association with the Revolution. But I'm even thinking sites like, for example, up in Jewett, there's several early cemeteries that are very, very seldom trafficked by the public, that are public land that people would be able to go and visit, that contain burials of Revolutionary soldiers, that testify broadly to the history of each of these towns. Mill Hollow, which is also in Jewett, which is the early epicenter of the forest industries that came to define the Catskills. These are all Revolutionary soldiers. These are the people who first participated in the democratic experiment, come to Greene after the Revolutionary War, and in partnership with the Dutch descendants who were living here at that time, form the county as we understand it today. So to commemorate those activities, which are done in the spirit of revolution by the people who participated in the revolution, I think is just as important as any actual physical Revolutionary War site.
Now, if you look at the military flags that we put up in the Carroll Historical Society,
Yeah,
there's a good number of Revolutionary War flags. My sixth grade grandfather was in the Revolutionary War. That's in Round Top, right by the post office.
yeah.
I don't know if you can work something into that.
So Sylvia Hassenkoff, who
Sylvia.
Yeah, who's been instrumental with so much that goes on at the Carroll Historical Society, and also broadly with historical research in the county. I think she has a list of like 300 or 400 Revolutionary veterans, 300 or 400 revolution. It might be more than that.
Yeah, there's quite a few flags.
Yeah, and
Banners, I should say.
yeah, and the difficulty becomes: do you commemorate the people who served from Greene County, who were in the regiments of the Albany County Militia and the Continental Line, who were born and raised here, or do you also commemorate all of the people who came? Like I'm a descendant of a Revolutionary veteran in Durham.
A lot of the Revolutionary War people of Greene County came from Dutchess County.
Yeah,
They migrated up from they went from Connecticut to Dutchess County to Greene.
yes, yeah,
Yep.
and so it's important to touch on that legacy.
So up in the town of Hunter, there was actually a Revolutionary War jail that
Tory
Rickles
Ford.
had at the top of,
Up above Black Clove.
right.
Yeah,
So you should probably get a hold of Dee Dee Turns Thorpe,
yeah,
who is she knows all about this.
Interesting.
Very few people know where that is. It's still there. I mean, I've been there.
yeah.
My parents have been there and we.
I've been there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know about it.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
there's things like that not necessarily people will be able to visit or they won't be able to take the time to visit. but
Yeah.
All this stuff should be brought up, that was a stopping point before they went from where they were captured up to, Canada.
And this is an opportunity also to touch on, resources that the county has that we can use for educational programming going forward. Like Ed West filed a copy of the map, the location of Tory Ford during the bicentennial. So we have at the clerk's office here, there should be a filed copy of the survey where he defined the bounds of that location on the side of the mountain. And for us to be able to, the opportunity to have a lecture going forward, talking about that, talking about the story of Tory involvement, the historic marker would be great too in Black Clove, because they don't have a lot.
It's funny because when I was 10 years old during the bicentennial, and I can remember coming down to Catskill, there was the big thing going on and
Yeah,
that was actually pretty cool.
yeah,
So if you could do that again, but I'm not saying everybody has to go up to, Torrey Swamp, but.
yeah,
But it's nice to be, noted,
yeah.
stuff goes on.
That's exactly right. And to that end, with larger commemorative activities, Patty Austin, again, following our meeting, this year actually, if we're gonna talk about anniversaries, this year is the 150th of the Hudson Athens Lighthouse. It's the 400th of the Netherland. It's the bicentennial the visit of Lafayette to the United States, which he visited Catskill as well. And I'm giving a talk at the Pratt Museum this year about that. And it's also, I'm blanking on the last one, it's the 400th of the settling of New Netherland under the Dutch, which is the creation of the first Anglo-Dutch government that had jurisdiction over this section of, the state of New York. And, Patty and I are talking about ways to get the ball rolling with that, but she's also been in contact with folks from the American Legion, the Andersons, who are, always out and about getting community organizing done, talking about how we can get something, along the lines of a parade put together for the 250. I'm hesitant to be the one organizing the parade because I've never done that sort of thing. I'm not an event planner, it's not my skill, but people are looking for something like that.
Yeah, great.
Any other
Interesting.
questions?
Sounds like a good start.
Very interesting.
It sounds like something that a lot of residents would participate in, regardless of income or anything.
Yeah, that's the public library and the historic markers. This is something that anybody can access. These are available, they're free. The only expense to us is making a marker. So I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for the input. So,
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Jonathan, do you think you could just let Tammy know when you're gonna get together again with your little committee or whatever?
yeah,
Just so we have an idea, maybe if some of us can get to it.
it was, the first meeting was informal. It was a sounding board. I just wanted to hear from a couple of people. After I meet with the historians, I'll call a larger meeting again. I'm hoping this will be February at this point. And I'll have everybody in on that, anybody who'd like to be there. So,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you, Mike.
Now we have Commissioner Gyro Patel.
So, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And it's pretty amazing because I'm here with great news.
Oh, good.
I know, it's absolutely shocking.
You made us $1 million.
Well, it really has nothing to do with money. It has to do with pride and the work that your county workforce has done. So it's
That's
better than money.
money.
It's absolutely better than money. So I think Harry will appreciate hearing this. The first issue we had is several years ago, some folks, I know Harry and Charlie, and folks have been around a little bit longer. We had a very interesting discussion of clients who DSS was rep payees on. So to be a rep payee, the federal government will say to us, hey, I need you to manage their money because there's been lots of issues.
Yeah.
So as you can possibly imagine. So there was questions about checks and what happened with checks. So we had a full audit in May of this year, and I didn't hear anything, and I didn't hear anything, and didn't hear anything. And my conference room was full of all the records, and they actually went out and they visited the clients in the community. And then I got this little letter on December 4th, one little letter, and it says on the top, a closeout letter, no deficiencies. I was like, oh God, I need a ban for that. That's amazing. We have no deficiencies from the federal government.
Congratulations.
This is the words that they use. It says, we determine you fulfill your duties as a representative payee. Your review is now complete. Now that's from the federal government. When it's not complete, believe me, you get reams of paper. That's all we have. So we're good for 3 years. And, based on the staffing and stuff, I wanted to bring that to your attention. What a great job that they did.
Yeah.
And a very, very difficult population.
How many people are we in charge of?
It's in the 70s, it floats up and down.
Yeah.
So that's the first audit. The second audit is even more exciting because we have about 18, openings within the department. And there's a lot of new staff. The state actually just called me again today and thanked me because we always have people, we train them. They get the experience and then they move to the state very quickly. So we're training lots of people frequently. So I got this lovely email from a state auditor who's a director of monitoring and compliance. And this is what she writes. And let me tell you, I almost fell out of my chair. She goes, you and your team are to be commended for their work. She was glad she was able to highlight and support the diligent efforts through the review. They did a review on services. So that's where we interact with the children in the community. And what they were looking at, it was called a program quality improvement. And they did it, this is a lot more timely than the federal government. This actually started in November, and we just got the results. A draft came in probably a week before Christmas, and now we have the finals. So they looked at CPS cases, and this is what they wrote. CPS investigative cases were observed as strengths in practice across the board in all categories of gathering the case records, the decision-making skills, and case plannings. And we exceeded all of the state's percentages in all those categories. So that's the CPS, and that's pretty remarkable. Because you guys only hear the bad things.
Yeah.
And I only hear the bad things, so it's nice to see the good things.
Very good.
The second area was prevention. And prevention is just exploding with what's happening at the school level and supports and coming out of COVID. And there's never enough services within the communities. So here, they wanted me to know a particular note of strength, the district's involvement with ensuring children were attending school and efforts provided to assist with this happening. Greene County scored above the rest of the state in all areas of this review.
Wow.
So that was pretty impressive to even hear that. The third half of that was foster care. As you can see from the numbers tonight, foster care cases were down to 46, which is absolutely amazing. And they wanted me to know in this review that again, Greene County scored better than the rest of the state in all sections and is to be commended. Of particular note, safety management, child and family involvement, and case planning, caseworker visits with children and parents, deserving connections, and providing services to address identified needs, all scored 100%.
Wow.
I've never seen a 100%.
Oh, that's great.
In any concern.
That's great.
So that's your team, that's your staff, that's the work that they're doing, and I want to give folks.
Please congratulate everybody.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can we maybe get like an email blast out about that with some of those facts that Kyra said? Some of the recognition that maybe we can
Maybe
put out
Warren
in
could-
our
Warren?
newsletter, Warren,
Yeah.
positive.
Isn't that nice? So I just have, now after tomorrow, I may not have good news, so I'm gonna scurry away.
Mr. Chairman, could I interrupt for a moment?
So, Mike's got a question.
Oh, you have a question? I'm sorry.
Mike?
Kyra, this is Michael Ryan of Mountain Eagle. Could I get copies of what you were just referring to so I could make a nice story out of it?
Sure,
So
sure.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, I try to scurry quickly.
Anything more about this code blue or any of those things that we talked about?
Anything about?
Any updates about that?
You know, we're in cold blue. We're gonna be in cold blue for the next couple of months.
Right.
We're not seeing a really big uptake in cold blue. You know, the issue that we have is the resources. We lose any sort of hotel, if we lose a couple beds, and, you know, we're scurrying around and all the other counties don't have any beds available.
On your report, it was 41, what was your number?
41 for last week. Yeah.
What about the money, the Medicaid money there that the state's holding?
They're not holding, they took it.
They took it.
Oh, they took it.
Yeah,
No more holding.
yeah,
That was a
No,
big
they
part
took
of
it.
our increase.
we lost
That
that.
was two different things. Yes, the increase is the increase. The FMAP, what he's referring to, which has been held since 2016. For every county in the state swept all the money, about $500 million.
You know where that's going.
And how about other counties coming and sending their homeless or people in need of housing up here? That improved or?
Well, we had a meeting for a little while. Yeah, we had a meeting with 4 of the 5 counties. I impressed upon them that we can't be encroaching on our inventory, if you could put it that terminology. In worst case, we can't be outbidding each other in order for the hotel, let's say, to take a bigger number per day for the housing. There was a verbal agreement to, okay, we won't. And then also from Kyra's management perspective, that if they are going to reach out, that they must contact Kyra so that we don't have conflict between the placement of who they put it in a hotel versus what we may put in that same hotel, so we don't have a problem with now the inhabitants
sex offenders versus a family, et cetera. Again, a verbal commitment, whether or not it's played out since that time, maybe we're playing better now.
Yeah, it seems to be better. We have less issues. But at any point, any of the hotel owners could accept money from somebody else.
Yeah, I think there was another issue, meals being delivered, food being delivered, one of the sites, and it was Ulster County people were in there. And our folks were getting nothing.
There's actually one hotel, that's just all of Ulster County, and we currently don't use that hotel. But it is in other counties.
We're not paying for any of that, correct?
No.
Ulster is? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to run my, it was all good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 10 action items. Again, excuse my voice. Number 1, authorizing lease agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services Aging in the town of Carroll.
Lennon,
Lennon and Leg.
no, Lennon and True. Lennon and True.
Lennon and True, I'm sorry.
Leg also seconded.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is carried. Number 2, authorizing agreement between Greene County Department of Human Services Aging and Nicole Gaiman, MSRD CD-N. Rivera, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Gotta yell.
Control. Number 3, authorizing agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services Aging and Home Aid Service of Eastern New York, DBA, Trinity Health Alert.
Lennon,
Lennon, I'll second that.
Ed, we have any idea how many people are using that?
How many people are using that?
Between 45 and 50.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is carried. Number 4, authorizing agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services Aging and Per Foods LLC, DBA Mom's Meals.
True, Overbought.
True and Overbought.
we get a little explanation on this. How's this working now? What's our numbers? Where was it last year? Where's it this year?
65, we were hoping that having the case managers have to do a full assessment, which takes several hours, would deter people from no longer wanting it, but they do still want to have the Mom's Meals. So it's dry iced, 7 meals, delivered, FedEx, UPS.
Microwavable, yeah.
Microwavable.
I've heard that the meals aren't bad. People enjoy them. I just know what our numbers are. 65? We're at-
65, I just had my aging services representative come from NYSOFA, and this can be an option, it doesn't, you don't have to continue doing it due to COVID, so I'm gonna have some conversations with one of my case managers and see if I can get that number down.
Thank you.
Yeah, then a lot of it depended on how many volunteers you had to deliver meals, right?
Yeah, that's part of our problem. The Mom's Meals were kind of an option for people who live far afield from the established routes. And we're not able to create more routes because we are really hurting for volunteers now. So we're kind of sticking with this for right now until we can hopefully recruit more volunteers and look at our routes again. If anybody knows anybody who wants to volunteer.
Actually, you have Mike Ryan on the line right now. I think it would be good to maybe have Mike do a story
Yeah,
looking for people that you guys should get in touch with him and say, we're looking for people that'd be a good canvas.
Good idea, thank
Well, I
you.
can tell you, I put it on like my Facebook page under, being a county legislator. This is what we're looking for. So anybody that's got a page or whatever listed on there, and, I've gotten a couple responses, but I'll let you know what happens.
In ordinary, I mean, historically, the mountaintop has been our problem area, finding volunteers, but we have some wonderful people up there who kind of took the reins, and they kind of coordinated everything, so they're covering the mountain. And so it's not that we don't worry about it, but they've really stepped up and really helped us. But we have volunteers who have aged out. Some go to Florida for the winter, some have gotten ill.
You said you had 3 areas though that were really hardest hit, like Athens,
Athens,
Carroll,
Acre, and
Acre.
But that's why if you reach out to Mike, he does a thing on Wednesday afternoons, get it on the rep, the radio comes out. You'll be surprised at how many people actually respond to something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, thank you.
You're welcome.
And our Capsule Media kids made a video last summer, so I'll send you that link again.
Okay,
I know you shared it last summer, but maybe sharing, getting it on the radio, you know, it's a voiceover, and they don't need the pictures.
thank you.
I'll send that link to you again.
So, and if anybody has any ideas about how we can recruit, I did an interview with one of our volunteers, Mr. Bloomer. And I didn't pretend I didn't know him. Mr. Bloomer, why do you volunteer?
Well, even like the Golden Agers, it's funny because, it's not funny, but, I had a friend of mine, Art Hay, he was 93 years old, and he was delivering meals to people that were 20 years younger than he is. And, you know, you reach out to these community groups, and they will, and the people want to help other people.
Okay.
You lost control, eh?
Charlie's gonna be all over me. All right, we have a movement and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is carried. Number 5, authorizing agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services, Aging and Senior Projects of Ravenna.
Overbought.
Linger Overbaught.
Linger Overbaught.
So what's the difference between this and the mom's meals?
Senior Projects of Ravenna, they serve Albany County, and for the clients that we have that are way up close to the Albany border, they kind of cross over and deliver meals for us.
They do the same thing that our sites do, only they do it on the northern end of the county.
Yeah.
Almost double.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, it's
What
almost
the other
double
meals
what
are.
the
Are they
mom's
gourmet
meal.
meals or
No,
they're the
they're-
same type of meal that the other one's
they're
doing?
the same type.
Yeah.
Mom won't deliver to Ravenna? 'Cause it's like,
Mom-
it's almost double the price.
Right,
Right.
and they just raised their price, they were much cheaper last year.
Even
So
too.
again, like I said, that's one of the things we're gonna look at, like if we can, because we have cooking
Why wouldn't we
sites
use the
that
mom's
cook the food, if we can, you know, change our routes and get volunteers, and that, you know, we're trying to look at how everything is priced and what's the most cost effective way to do
Yeah, I think when we initially went with Ravenna was because they couldn't get into some of the spots and keep food at a
Right,
temperature that it had to be at.
right, exactly.
But like Patty said, mom's meals, they deliver FedEx or
We throw back.
FedEx or whatever,
Well,
they
they
come in a
deliver
dry
hot
ice.
Not a hot meal though.
So you're cooking them at your leisure.
Right, so mom's meals wouldn't deliver, I mean, being that it's FedEx or whatever, mom's meals we couldn't get for that
No,
area as well?
we could look at the client list that we have for Senior Projects of Ravenna and, you know, see what's appropriate, have the case manager reach out to, you know, and speak to the client and see if that would be a better option for them. But Senior Projects delivers a hot meal Monday through Friday, just like we do. And the alternative, as moms, with mom's meals would be the frozen meals, or I'm sorry, they're not frozen, they're refrigerated.
They would have to be reheated.
Yeah.
And this is delivered hot.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Now, not every client can have mom's meals, correct? Because like, say, for example, mobility issues, they're having Parkinson's, something like that.
Right. You know, and the advantage to having a meal come to the home every day is that there's a set of eyes on the client. And for many of our clients, that's the only person they see. So our volunteers are excellent about looking in on the client. If the client hasn't answered the door, they call us and we immediately call the client. We can't reach them, we call their emergency contact. If we can't reach them, then we call and have a wellness check done. So it's a way to keep track of the client. We're trying, you know, the way our county is, it's difficult to reach everybody. We're trying to do the best that we can to do it. And, you know, mom's meal is not ideal, but it's getting. Ideally, we would love to be able to just go to everyone's home every day and make sure they're okay.
So there's no way to get a hot meal from a site in Coxsackie to those places.
We could, again, we could look at it, like really.
With a volunteer.
Right.
Yeah, we
PPE
need volunteers, so.
And be careful not to increase the route. If we increase the number of clients on the route, then we're not making our temp check at the end.
That's where we ran into a problem before.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we vote on it?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is, thank goodness, carried. Number 6, authorizing agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services. God, they're asking a lot today. Aging and unique training solutions.
Move that.
Meyer moves it, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is carried. Awarding bid, meat, canned goods, frozen supplies, and paper good bids to Ginsberg's.
True.
Overbaugh and,
True.
True. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is carried. Number 8, authorizing obtaining and furnishing of election-related services and materials.
Lennon. Lavera.
Lennon.
Lennon.
Lennon and Rivera, all in favor?
Aye.
Mike has a question.
No, you can vote right now. I just still have a question. I see our election commissioners are here, so I'd like to ask them.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will oppose that. Anyone else?
I'm also opposing.
Okay, Linger and we're opposed.
And again, I don't think we should be back charging these. I think calls for county boards of elections to keep these roles and furnish these materials. To charge back is an option. I think there's only 11 counties that actually charge it back.
Michael, you had your question with
Yeah, I just know that with this new state law changes here on the elections, do you see a larger cost coming your way for it? Because of the,
Absolutely, the larger cost. There's already a larger cost with 10 days of early voting.
so, but will there be savings because there won't be odd year elections anymore either?
No.
Because there's still gonna be odd year. There's some constitutional, state constitutionally mandated like.
Sheriff, district
And
attorneys.
others that would be, so there's the claim that there's cost savings is not accurate.
Our own elections, every 3 years, are not effective.
Exactly.
Right.
We stay on a 3-year schedule. Unless we change that.
4-year terms.
Do you have an idea how much more of an expense this will be incurred? Double or?
We're in a brand new, this is all new, there's no experience really to fall back on, make any predictions. But we anticipate additional mail.
Okay. Thank you.
Makes that be done with all the changes either. Number 9, authorization to facilitate 2024 annual village elections.
Rivera.
Rivera and who?
Legg.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay,
Same thing. I don't think we should be charging this back.
I will oppose that also. Same reason.
That's an unfunded mandate.
Okay, number 10, budget amendment, Greene County Human Services Unmet Needs Grant.
Move that. Leg linger.
Linger, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is covered. Anyone else have anything for county services this evening?
Just for the Board of Elections, I know I had requested initially for them to be here tonight for a whole different reason. I did get a phone call over the weekend that asked that they cancel that appearance for the Lear audit group. When I get the information, I will try to get it to you ahead of time so you can take a look and see what's there. I think there may be some questions that you can answer pretty much right up front as far as Greene County is concerned. I think they're looking for a New York statewide audit. But we'll see what we can do.
And who are these people?
It's called New York Citizens Audit Group.
Who are they?
Group, they're petitioning the State Board of Elections to do a full audit of the voter registration rolls.
For which election?
The Board of Elections, well, they went straight to the Board of Elections, State Board of Elections, they kind of got shot down, but it was recommended that they go to the boards, town boards, county legislatures.
Who recommended that?
Who recommended what?
It was recommended that they go to village, towns, and counties. Who-
I don't know who it was that recommended it to them, but that's what they came to me and asked.
First, we're hearing about this.
Well, for what election?
Does it sound like a good idea to make sure the registration rolls are,
Registration rules are updated every single day.
but do you have an, how do you know that they are, someone moves out of an apartment in the
We're on a
county?
statewide database.
So
Everything goes to the state.
Yeah, so anytime somebody registers in another county, we get notified.
And then you
directly.
purge your roll here
So it's something that's done every day.
every day, you
We
say?
have some information from the state board that we'd be happy to share with the legislature that speaks to some of the issues that this group has brought up in the past that haven't necessarily been found to be accurate.
And then if someone's died, how long does that take? Does that take?
Depending on Department of Health, but usually, every month or two, we'll receive a huge, list that comes in that we cross-check off of that.
And that comes right from Department of Health.
So do you do it, say, more times, like when it gets closer to an election?
Oh, yeah.
Would you review it, like, say, the whole,
We
like,
review it every day. Every day, a clerk will go on and reference either out-of-county movers, felons, and also deceased. So it's
So you make the decision automatically, daily.
daily.
Yeah.
So
Have
it's
you ever
not
had a
up to
problem?
somebody personally, like, say they had a parent that was deceased or anything,
If they did, they notify us, they put it in writing, and we
okay?
always have a paper trail.
Has there ever been a problem that somebody's brought up and said, you know, my father died and now I think he had him cast as a vote, or have you ever had a problem in the past?
As long as they're alive on election day, their vote counts.
And what,
Well, quite honestly, we don't want to get into debate with this group.
yeah,
And I don't either.
We will,
So let's not entertain
certainly
it.
if
So
there's.
Why are we gonna
specific-
entertain the group?
If there are
They're
specific,
looking for support for a state one,
we'll,
not county.
to Greene County, we will answer them. Again, I think once you see some of the state board correspondence in regard to some of the claims that have been made, yeah.
could you share that with
Yeah,
us?
no, I just said we'll get that to you.
Yeah, okay. I think we need to see that before we bring a group in like this.
what about, if someone moves out of state, do you get notified also on that
Yep.
First.
And does
That
that
comes from
occur,
state board.
We have to vote on it?
that will come from the state, not from
Right.
federal or anything like that?
No, I'm
That's
just
all
saying,
still
they will vote if they want to see him or not.
States talk to one another,
Just chairman,
and
he can
all
do what
the
he wants.
62 counties talk to the state.
That's only if they re-register in another state, correct? You wouldn't know if somebody moved and if they didn't re-register to vote in another state. you wouldn't
So
know.
every year, as you may or may not remember, you get a postcard every year. Ascertain whether or not that is your address. And it's not a forwardable piece of mail. So if that piece of mail comes back to us, then we further take it one further. We find out where you are. We send you literature on if you move to another state or whatever. And we update our files. It's a process. You know, a lot of people don't read the mail, but they really don't know. But that is state law. We check on every voter in the county. And all the counties do it.
You guys got a tight operation there. Good. Thank you.
So as far as you can say, it's unfounded that we have this problem, right?
Very okay.
Okay,
But they're not looking at Greene County specifically.
I know, but if they're not looking at Greene County, why are we gonna listen to them? We ought to not even
They've gone to
entertain them.
they've gone to other counties and
Yes.
tried to pitch their scheme.
I mean, we have a lot of things to do. We don't have to listen to something that doesn't pertain to our particular
So
county.
you don't think the presidential election is worth making sure that. voters-
Not if I can sit here and listen to my people, tell me that everything's good. No, I have no problem.
Well, that's true, but Brent Marie, where do you get your information from on voter registration?
You mean, where do we get our information?
Where do your rolls come from?
Our rolls come from people that register to vote.
They come from the state?
Registration form, there's a statewide registration form. When you register to vote, you either register through DMV, you can register through a form
Post
from
office.
Social Services, or through, I think aging, do you have one of those forms too? on your phone?
DMV.
Applications filled out. It's a statewide form, it's an agency form.
So they're all coming directly to our Board of Elections first.
Yes.
So if, a lot of times what happens, like somebody lives in Greene, New York, which is, I think, Genesee County, something like that. It might go to their county and then they forward it to our county, but it's all a statewide form. You can't just walk in and say, you put somebody on the rolls. They have to fill out an application, and on the bottom of that application where they sign is an affidavit that any information that they signed and attested to, if it's wrong, they can be fined up to $5,000 and be fined for perjury and go to jail.
If our rolls are correct,
Our rolls are correct.
then what is there to worry about?
I'm not worried about it, I'm just worried about wasting time.
But I
If our
think it's-
rolls are correct, what do we care?
Well, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's the right thing is to also show people that we are doing the right thing and that our rolls are accurate.
So
I think that's just as important.
here's another thing, what state law dictates for us to do. Anytime there's a candidate on the ballot, and all you legislators have gotten one, we have to send out a notice to the candidate of when the machines are being tested, when the machines are being set up. They test ballots to make sure that the votes that they have on the test ballots are the same as what comes out on the receipt tape. And we also give you dates on when we do our recanvass. And nobody ever comes.
So you send an invitation letter.
Tested those ballots.
We test everything,
We
we
don't
go
need to
over
come.
everything. We also have to do a 3% machine audit vote. And it's always come out.
So do you think that maybe this group is concerned because maybe there's other counties that might not be as diligent? Larger counties, which is just immense amount
I
of
think
people.
there's a lot of people that, let's face it, with everything that's in the news, there's lots of suspicions about the voting process. Much of it unfounded. And, my concern is the more we give informed people that have documented history of raising issues that are either explained or haven't been found to be accurate, the more we undermine the public's, belief in the integrity of the system. I think New York State has in our bipartisan checks and balances system is worked very well. And I think the state roles and certainly the county roles are in excellent condition. I'm not gonna say there's never a mistake, a birthday gets put in wrong, human error, that happens. But is there any massive issues with the voter registration rolls? Absolutely not.
So I personally am opposed to, I'm opposed to having these people come in and entertain anything to us. Because as far as I'm concerned, our Board of Elections has done a great job and there's nothing to be seen.
I've knocked on most of the houses in Catskill. I know who lives where.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of our time.
What's that?
So we'll look at it next month. They're coming in, they're gonna do a presentation next month, and I think they're gonna ask for a resolution from us. Doesn't mean we have to provide anything.
I don't think we're supporting a resolution.
But I think
If
it's
you
just.
don't let them in, you're running the risk of, they'll say you're trying to hide something and we're not.
Absolutely.
But they're not Greene County, they're not even Greene County residents.
There are Greene County residents.
No, but you're gonna give them ammunition to spin their story.
Has any, are you aware that, if any?
Our, election, committee here to inform them properly.
Yeah, I know.
Residents brought it to me.
Well, are you aware of any county that said, that rejected them?
Rejected.
In other words-
Aware of counties that have been asked and have not yet done resolutions,
Okay. That's probably what's gonna happen here.
and that's okay.
Let's move on.
All right, so is there anything else to come before county services this evening?
Motion to close.
I think I have laid the record of lost control. We have a motion to,
Second.
Senator, you have a second, but before we do that, I would just like to say that the longer I sit in this chair, the more I realize that we as legislators, and I'm not pointing the finger, I'm not, this is a good thing. We only see the tip of the iceberg of the good work that every one of these departments do. We have some excellent examples here just this evening. Just give a couple of minutes of some of the things that they have to deal with. And that's where I'm going with that. That's all. So thank all the department heads and deputies for taking their time out and coming up here in the evening. Of course, thank you much.
We appreciate it.
We are closed.
Yeah, vote on it. Gotta vote.
Power.
Power to people.
Yeah, right.
Look at our pledge.
There's another one on. Lexington, you got 3 or 4 up here.
Oh, man, maybe it's.
You got, what? You got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Scott's gonna take good care of me. I don't care.
Some are up, some are down. Move 5 out. We gotta move through.
City Additional Public Works Committee to order at 6:47. Highway Superintendent's report.
Yeah, Marie's retiring this year sometime.
Good evening. Not much has changed from last month. Unfortunately, the weather has. I'll run through some of the quickly, the agenda, but most importantly, I'd like to talk about what's coming up as far as the weather conditions. Most of the bridge projects that we had this past year have been completed. You'll see some proposed action items. Majority of these action items are actually a net decrease in the contracts, which is very good. There's a couple that we had increases, but still overall, we were well under our estimated budgets. We did have some site meetings with our engineers on several bridges on County 20 Bridge in Durham. We had a site meeting for Platte Cove Road Bridge, as well as County 6 Spruceton Road. So we should be starting the design for all of those. And now, solid waste, we had the final drawings, or the 90% drawings for the residential drop-off area. We do have them available for everyone if they would like. We can send them out to you through email. Take a look at them. We can also print copies for you.
Send them to me, email.
But we do recommend you just take a look at them. See if you see anything that.
We should get them emailed to everybody.
Okay.
Because that was the conversation we had a couple months ago.
Correct.
So everybody could see it, right?
And then it's, nobody wants an actual printed copy?
We got Ray Ward up and print out any copy.
There you go, Ray. You can print them.
You want email, right?
I don't think we're not gonna have those big ones.
Well, you can print off the big ones. They're easier to see.
Right. Yeah. All right. Waste those plots, but, okay. We can have a copy. Ray at Real Property can make a huge copy and have them either there at our building or over here.
Yeah.
I'll put them in mailbox. Okay.
I don't.
I think we'll still email.
Yeah, mailbox, or I know previous, you left them in the little room you had next to your office, your meeting room.
That's where
get in.
That's where you had the other drawings.
Yeah, right next to Sean's office, the little conference room.
Yep. I just want to add, if anybody's got any comments, just to make it quick, because we're hoping to go out to bid by January 22nd.
Correct.
Yeah, we just got them the other day, so.
Did you go with anything a little bit different at all? Or?
We enclosed the sides as what was recommended.
You did do that?
There was a couple of, we were adding some additional lighting in the back just for nighttime. They start a little earlier, especially in the winter time here. It gets pretty dark. We kind of repositioned the booth a little bit so it could see. Some of the electrical we adjusted because we wanted additional wiring to go to both buildings. I don't remember, was there cameras? We eventually, yes, we were gonna have cameras, absolutely.
But not as part of the bid package?
We just need to conduit.
Do it ourselves in our-
You're gonna put the conduit in?
Correct, and
Yeah.
we'll pull everything.
It's cheaper for us to do it than.
Greg Orr, we do the cameras, right? Greg?
We've been doing our cameras at the transfer station for years now, and they've worked very well.
Okay, because Greg's got a program he could hook into where.
They're a little bit more expensive than what we
Oh,
want to
okay.
spend,
Okay.
but ours is.
Now you say that, so
It's gotten to be.
I was talking to you about the speaker at Hunter.
Yes,
It was brought up, why wouldn't you put a light up, like a red and green light, just to, all you gotta do is push a button and go.
we don't have red and green for Hunter.
No,
Just speaker.
it's all by, it'd probably be easier and last longer if you just, push the button, and say go, rather than. No,
We'll look into see if we can pull another wire. We should, it should be possible.
How's that building been holding up on Hunter?
It's been holding up, but it's far more than what we've ever expected as far as volume.
that place is busy.
I would agree.
I've told you that for 3 years now.
It is,
That place is super busy. It didn't slow down after COVID either, did
it did not.
it? Okay,
You're right.
it did not slow down.
It's time to raise the rates?
Another big building.
We already did.
And?
It doesn't slow anything down. It's,
No, you don't wanna slow it down by raising rates, because that's gonna be on the side of the road. What you wanna do what you wanna do is open another day.
You've been lobbying for that for almost 3 years now.
I know.
it's only 7 days. ago.
I'm just saying.
We already put that to rest. Let's move on.
Just right now, we did this past storm this past weekend. I think we did well. I don't know if anyone else would dispute that. I think all of our crews did very well this past weekend. Unfortunately, with the upcoming forecast, we're forecast to get between 2 and 4 inches of snow tomorrow evening. And right behind it is up to 3 to 4 inches of heavy rain, which is a recipe for flooding, which we have a significant history of doing that. December 25th of 2021, we had heavy rains that took out several of our roads. It's the same time frame with the additional snow that we currently have on the ground. We have all of our crews, we have signs being made. It's gonna be a tough one
So our known flash points, you're prepared to prepare them?
We know of our current flash points in our high risk areas. We have signs ready to go. The problem is gonna be, we're gonna have crews out plowing snow, and then the rain's gonna come out right behind it. So the forecast currently is Tuesday evening, which is flooding early in the morning is very dangerous. Our crews are gonna be tired from plowing. So it's not a good recipe. But Wednesday is gonna be a difficult day for us.
School closures?
We already have after-school activities in schools, some schools on Tuesday evening being canceled. I would expect Wednesday probably would be closed. But
Ready? Snow day.
He was looking right at you, Mike.
Matt, you're down here at the bottom,
Reach
so
out
you
and
won't,
touch your
you
back.
won't have to be closed till Thursday.
After school activities.
All the stuff runs down.
all right, Jim, ready?
It just,
Oh, wait, before you go,
Yes, that's it.
you and I spoke about the, darn it, I had it in my mind.
Charades, I'm not good.
Yes, you are. We had the composting.
Yes, actually,
The
Paul,
composting.
Ask questions?
was that
Delivered January 25th.
January 25th?
And we wanna make sure that everybody knows that it's coming and we're.
We still have to get wiring up there. We're still trying to.
Delivery is one thing. but-
Right.
No, I know, but I think that's important, because that's a.
It is.
We're gonna take
People be
delivery
happy.
of them on the 25th, but I think we're gonna wait until
March, April to.
Right now, with the
set 'em
snow
up.
on the ground and what's
Right.
occurring, it's
Well,
probably not
that's gonna
ideal.
be, that's gonna be a good thing.
Yes,
So, keep that on the radar for everybody that's
absolutely.
moving
We
forward,
also,
things are going good.
to roll into that, HHW Day, we have 2 dates. So we have one for the mountaintop and one for the valley. Currently, June 29th for the mountaintop and September 7th
Yes.
for the
Nice.
valley.
Thank you.
So,
Scott, just the one question on the one change order, that's a positive, but reading through it, was the increase because of contractor violation
Which,
on DEC?
no, that was on us. We started work prior to getting full confirmation that we received a permit. And once they started, DEC came and gave us a notice of violation for beginning of the work prior to them getting full permit access.
Gotcha.
We got the notice of violation, we did all the work, nothing else was done differently, except for a 2-month delay.
Jeez. Is there anything you can do to fight that?
We work well with DEC,
Just let it go?
Choose your battles.
We
Okay.
work
I'm just
very
asking.
well with them, I wanna continue to work with them on the
Okay.
mountaintop. This was a little error on our part as well. We allowed work to proceed, because we wanted to get the work done prior to the season ending. And the contractor was actually on site, so we got a better price, unfortunately.
Totally logical.
Scott, I know I mentioned this earlier, but I'd like to put on the record, nice job your crews did on the snow and ice Carroll area. I was impressed.
Thank you. Hopefully we can make it through this storm too.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's actually concerning with the rain, amount of rain we're gonna get.
Yeah. In the wind.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, wind, yeah.
12 inches of wind?
Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour.
Trifecta.
Okay, moving into the proposed action
I heard
items.
that.
Number one,
I got it.
authorizing municipalities to participate in Greene County highway purchases.
Martinez.
Village.
Martinez and Belich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Number 2, authorizing change order necessary for the completion of the construction inspection service for replacement of Blue Road Bridge over Gooseberry Creek.
Yeah, really.
Bin 3-20096-0, Town of Hunter, pin 1761.25.
Leg?
Village.
Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Authorizing change order number 1 through 8 necessary for the completion of the replacement of Bloomer Road Bridge over the Gooseberry Creek, bin 3-20096-0, Town of Hunter, pin 1761.25.
Martinez.
Martinez and Leg, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Authorizing change order number 1 and 2 necessary for completion of the replacement of Timberlake Road Bridge over Broad Street Hollow Stream, Town of Lexington, pin 1761.21.
Leg?
Village.
Leg and Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Authorizing change order number 1 necessary for the completion of the replacement of the County Route 83 culvert pedestrian bridge, Town of pin 1760.21.
Second.
Leg and Martinez, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Number 6, authorizing expansion of services, advanced enterprise replacement of County Route 2 culvert over an unnamed tributary to the Schoharie Creek, Town of Lexington.
Leg?
Village.
And Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Is there anything else to bring before Public Works?
Motion closed.
Leg and Handle, we are closed.